fine.
All right.
The whole song like that. I want somebody walk around and play that when I go to work in the morning when I get up.
I know, because I usually hear Hot Topics background, or I hear the intro in my head sometimes during the day, and I just be, and you know what? And I use that to try and get myself hyped to do the show.
Yeah.
So, and then it's like when I put your intro up, I'm thinking you guys are just sitting there like so calm, and I'm over here just trying to hype myself up.
I was back here gigging. I was like, you know what? I need a person to like walk around everywhere I go.
Well, welcome to Cutting It Close with Cee Cee, the show premiere with Miss Cee Cee. What's going on?
Hey.
I'm still alive. We're making it happen.
Well, I'm excited for you. Tonight is your first show. And just to kind of update the audience, I'm trying to do too many things at one time. Just to update the audience, Hot Topics Talk Radio still is running. However, Cee Cee is going to be doing the last Wednesday of each month. She's going to come in and she is going to give you what she's got. I will be sitting in the background. In the very beginning, Miss Yvonne Baker is here tonight, and she's going to be sitting in with Miss Cee Cee and kind of like help feeding along the way so Cee Cee can learn to talk about herself.
That might be it. Y'all going to have to do a new show and teach Cee Cee talking about her damn self.
So we're just going to get this show rolling. I'm going to kind of like sit in the background and run your board for you, putting up comments. Now, I did tell Cee Cee this, so I don't want anybody pissed off and mad. I don't want nobody sending me no damn messages, okay? So this is my disclaimer for tonight in the very beginning. Cee Cee is here to talk about herself, make sure that the audience knows who she is, what her plans are on taking this show to the next level. And I told her, I said, you know what, although the comments will be coming up on you, you'll see them. I don't want you to necessarily be answering questions. And she was like, oh, okay. So this is Cee Cee's night to shine, okay? Yeah. Maybe towards the end of the show, if she feels like answering the comments, that's fine. But in this very few tight 20 minutes, I want Cee Cee to try and concentrate on Cee Cee and what she plans on bringing to you as a host of this show. All right? So, that being said, I'm out. Have a good show, ladies.
Bye. I want my whole life to be a show. Like, this is,
You know what, Cee Cee, your whole life will be on the show.
Let me tell you,
by the time you finish, everybody will know every nook and cranny of your life.
Oh, I don't like that because I kind of like being incognito. I don't know about that, but it's all right. It's all right. My friends tell me all the time, like, you need a show. I'm like, man, people wouldn't watch that. They would lock me up.
So, Cee Cee.
Yes, ma'am.
When you first started coming on the tuning in to Hot Topics Talk TV, I'm sorry, Hot Topics Talk TV, did you ever think you would be a host on the show?
Not in a million years. I don't even know what even possessed me to volunteer that day. Like, yeah, I'll talk. Not in a million years.
Well, we always notice that you do like to talk, just like all of us. So what made you decide to go ahead and jump on board?
You guys seem like you have a lot of fun. We're all in different cities, but whenever I get a chance to come on and be part of these shows, it's like I've known you guys forever. It's like a family. So I felt like when I was asked to do this, I was like, when am I ever going to be asked to talk about myself again, ever in life? And, you guys made it so easy and comfortable. The first time I came on, I said I was going to do it. And the closer we got to the show, I was like, what the hell? Like, no, change your mind. It was too late. I was like, once you commit, and that's it. So we're gonna do it. But I was so nervous. I was like, this is gonna be terrible. These people gonna never ask me to come back again. People gonna see me on the street and be like, yeah, that's that crazy one right there. You know. So
Well, I thought you did a bang up job when you sat in for me that time.
thank you.
And it was, you had, to me, you had the personality to communicate with the viewers, to um, just put it out there. And it's different when you're just making comments, right, typing up something and then posting it, than having to be on camera
Yeah.
and actually saying, talking about, what you do in your your personal life.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys gonna get me in trouble because somebody gonna record this, and then they gonna be like, "We know what you did." It's gonna be all over.
Well, just remember, no names.
No names. Oh, you ain't
No
got to
names.
tell me. Look, you ain't got to tell me.
So tell us all a little bit about Cee Cee.
I hate to take this from Cardi B, but I'm just a regular smegular girl from the Bronx. So it's like, this is what we do. I know people always say, "Oh, you're so quick with it." For me, that's not a thing because we grew up in a place where you had to be like, you couldn't go out on the block and be slow. They would tear you up before you even get back from the corner store. So, it's just a thing with me. And then my mother was like, growing up, my mother, she's so sarcastic. So that was just a thing in our house. And we have a large family. And it was like, you better be ready or get got. And if you wasn't ready, then that was it. And nobody was like, "Oh, she's my little sister. She's my cousin. Don't get her." It was like when they saw you, they was like, "That's right, get her." And if you wasn't ready, that was it.
So how many siblings do you have?
So there are only three of us, but we have a large family. Like I have an aunt who's got 7 kids. So, there's a lot of us. Like it used to be a joke in the Bronx. It's like, they got like 97 cousins. Don't mess around with them because we all lived in the Bronx and it was like, and I'm the oldest one. And then it was like all boys after me. So it was like, if you mess with her, all the dudes from Tremont is coming down here and you're going to catch a bad one. So it was like, I didn't have any brothers, but my little cousins were my brothers. And I always call them my big little brother because they always looked out for me. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I was the same with them. I was like, I'll hurt one of these girls out in the street by one of my cousins. So, we were a close knit family. My mother is one of 6 children and she was close with her sister. So we all lived within like a 2 or 3, maybe no more than 6 block radius. And we always was like at each other's house. And then, you got the grandma, everybody's always at grandma's house. So we grew up all together until I came to Boston.
So how long have you been in Boston?
Ooh, I've been here maybe 30 years now.
Really?
I've been here for a long time.
And I'm assuming you like it.
I didn't at first. It's such an adjustment that you don't realize when you go from state to state. Like coming from a place like New York is known for the city that never sleeps. And then I came here to Boston and they had like all of these old English colonial rules. Like this now they're different. Like their stores didn't open on Sunday. The liquor store didn't open on Sunday. The things that did open on Sunday closed at 6 o'clock. And I was like, why the hell did you bring us? Like, this is the most boringest place in the way. When we first moved here, we lived in the North End, and I'm not sure how familiar people are with Boston, but the North End was predominantly Italian people. And my sister and I were like, well, where's the black people at? And we would look out the window and we saw a black person. We were like, look, it's a big old one right there. And, of course, the rent was high in the neighborhood, so my mother heard about this area where the rent wasn't so high, and we moved to a place called Phil's Corner, and we found out where all the black people was.
Uh-huh.
And then I could really act up.
Well, I went to Boston once, and I loved it there.
Okay.
Of course, it was a visit. It wasn't. I didn't move there, so that's a
Yeah, you
difference.
didn't love it that much.
No, I guess not. But it was right at the beginning of fall,
Okay.
and it was, snow in the trees, and the air was all crisp, and so it was different from, and I flew in from California, so it was a lot different then. Hey, Jacqueline.
It's
But
a lot of things to get used to, like, you know, and I don't know. They have a tendency, like, if a person is walking up the street, they'll walk on the right side, and
really,
when New York, you get how you get there, however you get, and that's it. So we like Bobby weave through. And I never forget, I worked with a girl, and she would refuse to move her ass to the other side of the hall. She's like, "You're on the wrong side." And I'm like, "Listen, you're gonna get knocked down in these halls. You're gonna be happy we work at the hospital because I ain't got time for that." And I realized, even with the kids, they teach the kids, "Oh, you foul to the right." We never had that kind of structure. So when I first moved here, I hated it. I was like, "It's nothing to do. Everything's closed. There's nobody out here." But I think as the older I get and I'm more mature, and I'm like, I don't want to go out. I remember the first time a girlfriend took me to the club, and we got dressed, and it was like, ladies are free before 11. We got dressed. We went out there. And at 12:45, they turned on the lights, and the mayor said, "You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here." I was like, "What is happening?" I was like, "This is the time we come outside." That's it. It was crazy. And they were like, "Yeah, everybody got to be out of the clubs closed at 2, but I guess they got to have you out by 1:45." And I was like, "This is the worst town in history." I was like, "This is crazy. I'm going back home."
Last call for alcohol.
Last call for alcohol. I was like, "Well, damn, we just got here." So, I
Hey,
was
I
like, "Now I
wanna.
see why it's free before 11, because you better hurry up and get your two steps in the drink in and get the hell on home." Then when you get out, it's nothing to eat because everything's closed. I was like, "This is terrible."
I want to say hi to some of the people in the chat room.
Of
Hey,
course.
Jacqueline.
Hi, Jacqueline.
I see Devon is in. What's up,
My
Devon?
friends.
I love your intro that
Thank you so much. It's better than anything I could ever imagine. I was telling them, I don't know if you were on, that I need somebody to walk around with me and play that while I go through my daily life. Like when I go to work, when I go to the Starbucks, just think about that. Uh-oh, I think Yvonne is on delay over there.
All right. So I got her back.
Okay, here we go.
Until she come on back. There she is. I'm going away.
I was like,
So
you're sick of me.
I sent you a question, Miss Cee Cee. I'm gonna go out.
Okay.
So to continue what I was saying, this is Cee Cee Petty Son, and this is our new host. And she's going to. This is her premiere night, and this show is just to let you guys get a little feel of that those that don't know Cee Cee. And so if you have some questions for her, please feel free to ask. Not too personal now, because
We
we
work
ain't
into
doing
that.
that.
You got to get maybe like 4 or 5 shows in before I start
Yeah,
getting
get about
real
four
good
or five
stuff.
shows under her belt. Then everything is good to go.
Yeah.
But so if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask her. So you know what? What kind of threw me for a loop though, CC, was
Oh, tell me.
when
Give it to me.
so I think we were talking. Was that we was on FaceTime,
Okay.
and I asked you how many kids you had, and for you to be so young, can you tell the viewers how many?
That always throws everybody. So I have 7 children. I got 3 girls and 4 boys. And occasionally I go to work and I say, "Anybody want a kid? I got any kind you want. Tall, short, fat, skinny, light skin, dark skin, girls, boys, some sweet, some entertained. Whatever kind of kid you want, let me know." I said, "If I got one, he's 16. He don't do nothing but play games. You don't want him. All you do is eat and play games."
So what is so you don't have to give us all 7 age ranges. But the oldest is how old and the
So
youngest?
my oldest daughter just turned 29 on the 16th of January, and my youngest is 11. So she's the last of the Mohicans.
And you know, I really have to take my hat off to you, Cece, because I've got four. And it's like I mean, my last two are 17 months apart.
Okay.
And I felt like I had twins.
You know, again, I had a large family and I'm the oldest cousin. So I remember when I got pregnant, I had my daughter about a week or two before my 16th birthday. And people were like, oh, your life is over now. All you're going to do is be babysitting. I'm like, well, shit, what's the difference between what I'm doing now? I'm like, look at all these damn kids here. That's all I do is babysit. Like now I could take care of my own damn kid and not everybody else's. So, my daughter, I love her to death. And, when you have kids that young, you kind of grow up with your kids. And
Yes.
we had an interesting story, and we'll probably get into that later. She ended up living with her dad for a while. It's a real
Hmm.
funny story how that happened. But um, all her friends love me. They like she have drink night at her house, and they like call mom, call mom. And the kids have now dubbed me the inappropriate mom because I say what I mean what I say, and I say stuff to the girls, and they're like, "Your mother said that to you?" I'm like, "Listen, if you don't tell your kids, somebody else is going to tell them, and they might not tell them the right thing." And I've always been very candid with my kids. Um, I talk to them like adults, and that's a gift and a curse, and there's arguments for both sides of that. But you do what you can, and we've had conversations, she and I, about things that I have done and not done for her as a kid. And I say to her all the time, I did the best I could with what I had, knowledge and all. Because she said to me one time, you ain't buy me no iPad. I said, first of all, there wasn't no damn iPad in 1993. So go sit your ass down somewhere. But, she's got a couple things that she probably still has on her mind and hasn't brought forth yet or whatever. But I always tell my kids, anything you have any questions about, something I did, something I didn't do, ask me because I will let you know and I will let you know why. And I'm not always right. And I was 16 years old, but you still alive, ain't you? So
Yeah,
I ain't
see,
done too damn bad.
yeah, see, I can relate with you on that. I was 16 when I had my daughter, and it was like we grew up together.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's no manual, and we can't Google. Well, there was no Google back then, but
Nope.
we
You guess
can't
nothing.
Google how to raise a kid because everybody's got their own perceptions on how you should raise your kids.
Yeah, and I had an interesting childhood. We'll get into that a little bit later too. But there were a lot of things that I just was like I didn't know, but there were things that I knew that what I wasn't going to do. Things that
Right.
my mother did, I was like, I'm not going to do that. And what I'm not going to do. So, and kids grow up and you don't really understand as a child yourself. Even some adults don't understand how those things affect a child down the line. Or why
Hmm.
you are the way you are is, a mixture of your environment and the things that have happened to you, the things that you've seen and heard, and so on and so forth. So, when I always say to her, just know that anything that I've done, all my kids, to hurt you was not intentional. It could have been out of ignorance, I didn't know, or when you do have a kid, you don't realize how much work that is. And when
Right.
you're 16 years old, you don't really get into the work because you got the parents kind of taking over, and they kind of, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do. So, you know, I did the best I could with what I had, and she's a lovely girl. She gave me a granddaughter who insists on calling me grandmom in public, and I try to stop her from doing it, but the more I try to stop her, the louder she does it. I was like, well, why I can't be Gmo or something? And my ex, she calls him Poppy, and everybody got a cool name, but I got to be Grandma. I was like, oh, and everybody older than me. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh my God. Yeah, Devon said, toughest job, but most rewarding. And I
Definitely,
agree with you so wholeheartedly,
definitely.
Devon.
And those kids, her grandmother stepped in and did a lot. And my daughter she is the biggest Care Bear in the world. And sometimes I look at her and say, whose kid are you? Because she just, oh, I care. Oh, what about if you hurt their feelings? I'm like, where the hell you get this shit from? It ain't me.
Oh, so have you ever, let me see. Have you ever been one to uh, have a forum where you had to speak to a group of people?
No, not, no, I haven't. I never really spoke to a group of people for any other reason. And I kind of like, I talk with my girlfriend. Well, I used to have a girlfriend. I ain't got no friends now because, my mouth. But I never did. And I had friends way back to say, you should be on the radio. I'm like, I don't have a radio voice. I mumble. I talk loud. I laugh. I cackle. I don't want to be on the radio. And I was like, nobody's going to listen to me. But I've never really had a need to do it either, so.
Well, you've got that East Coast twang.
What's that mean?
You can tell you're from the East Coast.
Oh, okay.
And it's I always found it interesting because I used to do work for the airlines.
Okay.
And every time we get someone that sound like you do, I'm like, oh Lord, here comes this New York person or Coast person.
We got a bad reputation for just being rude all the time for no reason.
You know what? East Coast, and please I don't want any letters, no notes. But people from New York basically are rude.
You went from East Coast to singling it down until you. That ain't right. I don't like it.
Hey, Devon wants to know what's one of the things you want to use your new show for?
Honesty. I feel like a lot of times you just can't say anything anymore. You can't say that, and you can't say this, and you can't do that, and you're not supposed to do this, and you're not supposed to do that. And somebody asked me the other day, "Who are you?" I said, "I'm everything you're not supposed to be." That's what I am.
Hello.
That's what I am. Everything you're not supposed to be. When I was coming, I was like, "Oh, you can't do that. You're a girl. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to be ladylike. You're supposed to be that." Get the hell out of here. I ain't got time for that. No, I don't want to do. People who do that, I think their life is so boring. Suppose I would have spent my whole life doing all the things that I was supposed to do. And that people tell you if you do all the things you're supposed to do, you're gonna get this great reward. You're gonna have this nice husband and this nice car and this nice bank account. And it's BS. That's number one. And so what? And the people who do have, I know people who have all that stuff. They're so unhappy. They're tired of walking around being beige in life. And now they've been beige for so long they can't do nothing else.
Exactly. But you know what? I think you coming on the show is very refreshing. Even though Tony and I are queens of the show.
Oh, what's the curtsy?
But I think you're going to bring on a more refreshing, younger ideas.
I don't know. Maybe. And what kind of ideas do you mean when you say refreshing, younger ideas?
Well, it's like having it's like the music industry, for instance. Okay. We've got the oldies, but then, of course, all that's coming back now. But the younger people like more up to date stuff. Okay. Even though it probably the shows probably end up just like ours. But
and I ain't that young, so
you're a couple of years younger than Tony and I. So
yeah. I still have to ask kids. I have to call my daughter sometimes, like, what that mean?
But it's just I don't know. I think it was when I saw you on the show, when you sat in for me, I'm like, you know what? She needs to be, and Tony and I talked about it. You needed to be one of the hosts on the show. But I really didn't think you were going to go for it.
Really?
Yeah.
And why? Tell me why. Why you thought I was just gonna be like, nah, that's it. One and
No,
done.
because there's not a lot of people. Because I know when we started doing, well, when Tony came. I had kind of backed off a little bit because of my job. I couldn't make it in time to do the shows. But um, during that time, we went from a blog talk radio, talking to people on the phone,
Okay.
to talking to people face to face. And when Tony told me about coming on Facebook, I'm like, wait a minute, you mean I can't sit in on the phone in my pajamas and curlers?
That might be a thing. What's Tammy Romaine have her bonnet documentaries when she sits on there with her bonnet on her head. So,
Yeah, well, I think we couldn't do that.
Yeah, well.
I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that, and I know Tony wouldn't feel comfortable. But it's just that I don't know. It's you're, like I said, you're younger. You have, you know, I don't know, maybe draw a younger crowd. Plus, you probably have a lot of people on your Facebook page.
I do, but I don't really have a lot of people on my page. I got people that I know, and that was one of the things I was like, wow, do I really want to get on Facebook and let these people really know? Because some people think I'm rather bougie and wouldn't believe some of the stuff that I've done. So
Oh, don't worry about it.
Trouble.
I've been called bougie.
Some of those people
stuffed
on
up.
the Facebook page are the characters in these stories that I be telling. So I gotta, I don't want any angry letters either.
Ray wants you to tell us something that we don't know about you. And Ray, that is not tonight's show. This is just to introduce you guys to Cee Cee. She's gonna come out with all the other stuff later.
Yep.
Gotta save something.
Gotta save something. What was that, the Cosby Show, when he said they used to give you a little shoulder and then take it back?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. What Jackie say? Oh, a whole different thing doing Facebook from BTR. All right. Yes, it is, Jacqueline. It is a whole different thing. But once we started doing it, I really like it.
So I haven't done either one. So I mean, with the exceptions of the shows that I sat in for you guys, that was my first time, like, really being out on a show. So it's fresh and new for me, and I don't know what to do. So y'all, I'm just trying not to say the wrong things, because I was on a radio show once. There was a person who I knew who had like a garage radio show, and we would talk. And every now and then she's like, "You can't say that. You can't say that." And I was like, "Okay." She's like, "You can't curse. You can't do that." I was like, "Well, what the hell you got me in here for?" But I did a couple stand-in shows, and a guy I was dating at the time was spinning their music for them, and I used to take him there, and he would have all this stuff with him, and their host wouldn't show up, and they would go in there and start talking about stuff and ask me questions. So I did that maybe 15 years ago, 1 or 2 times, but and I'm always doing something I'm not supposed to do. So I don't know how to act.
I think we all fit that profile.
Oh my God. So I'm going to go back. Thank you, Jacqueline. We appreciate you. We appreciate everybody who is listening in. I'm going to go back to Devon's comment, because I think that it's so relevant of what we do, because even though that, we are all under the same umbrella, under the HTTR network, everybody does have their own identity. Everybody has their own branding. Everybody
identities. Watch out now.
Yeah, we do.
All right, Sybil. So I think that, I'm with Devon. I'm going to be very interested to see the dichotomy of what this brings with your addition. And Yvonne hit it on the head when she said that when you filled in for her, she saw something that was, it was it was something that we all have under this network, but it was different, if that can make sense. And it's different by way of not, and we don't want to pick on your age because I think we've got about 20 years on you.
Speak for
Uh,
yourself.
19.
Okay.
Bring it down a little bit.
But I think that the dichotomy that you are going to bring to this show is because you've got that. It's not. I'm not going to say this huge age gap, but the ideals are different.
Mm-hmm.
They're a lot different. You can get away with saying something that Yvonne and I can't. I'll try it. I'll try anything.
Me
Uh,
too.
and I test the limits a lot. But then a lot of times it's like after we get off the show, I think to myself, damn, I said that, like the monkey on the back thing. I was testing the limits, but a lot of it is not just for the viewership, it's who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you're going to bring that to the show.
I want to test all the limits. I want to talk about all the things that nobody else will talk about.
Yeah. I mean,
just
but
stuff that's like, what? That don't make, like the time I brought in that article about the mom who they didn't want on OnlyFans. I'm like, sometimes you just read stuff and you're like, what?
Thank you. Yeah, but it is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing what you bring to this table. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. That's the fun part, and to see the growth. That's what's going to be a lot of fun, because you think that, you come in one way and then you end up somewhere else.
Yes.
Yvonne knows that,
Yeah.
because when we started this back in 2010, 2011, we were noticing the changes as we were going.
Mm-hmm.
But then to see the reaction from the audience, our listening audience at that time, and now our viewing audience, to see their reaction of the growth, and to see us change, over the years. It's been interesting. So I'm looking forward to seeing that with you. I really am.
I hope it's going to be a wild ride, but not too wild because I don't want to get y'all in trouble.
All I'm saying is we just need to put on our life jackets.
I can't wait to see
ride.
I can't wait to see what it's like with Cee Cee in a production meeting. That's what's going to be funny.
People hate going to meetings with me, even regular work meetings. They be like, "Oh, here she comes." I'm calling this shit down. This don't make no damn sense.
Oh my God! Oh, see, some of the things that you were saying, it keeps the audience intrigued, and I can't wait to see how you leave them hanging on a cliff each month. I can't wait to see it. But we and I hope that, and I'm sure that Yvonne and Devon,
Hey.
Ray, Chera, and Reggie would follow my sentiment in saying that we welcome you aboard.
Thank you so much.
And we look forward to the shows to come and to your growth. This will make you grow a lot, and to your patience with people, it's going to give you that as well. You'll learn to have patience with people. So
you know what? What I want you to do, Cee Cee, is maybe after 4 months of doing the show, Go back and look at this show.
Well, I had intended to do that anyway. I need to go back and look at the ones that I attended because I'm like, I haven't looked at them, and I kind of hate the sound of my own voice. That's one of the reasons why I haven't looked at them.
We are so much. I have that same issue. I hate because I've got that deep voice, and I have been told it's sexy, but I'm like, what is sexy about waking up in the morning?
Sounding like lumberjack Jack, right? Yeah, no. No.
But it's a learning thing. It's a learning.
But
it's an experience.
It's not about what you say. It's going to be about when you look back at this show and see how much you have grown since this show. Because then you'll be more comfortable with doing this. And the stuff that's going to come out your mouth in the next month or two, girl, look out.
I am so afraid.
Well, it's like when you start talking and you get on the topic and you start talking and it just comes out. However, it just comes out.
I can't believe I said that. Now I got myself in some trouble.
I have said that a many nights. I'm like, why did I say that? Why did I say that? Oh my God.
One of those shows that I did with you all had somebody drop off my roster and I ain't heard from the guy since then. So I know I got myself in trouble. I was like, damn.
Well, you'll be just fine. I have no doubt you'll be just fine. And that's why we're all here for one another. At the times that, someone gets sick, like you filled in for me, I was sick on the air. And Devon and Ray and Yvonne and Chera and Reggie, so we all work together. Might be different shows that you might jump on. It doesn't take away from the show, that you're sitting in on for someone. It just shows that, there's a lot of cohesiveness under this network. And that's the way Yvonne and I had built it. So you know that we always have your back, no matter what.
No matter what.
Well, I think I've proven myself. When y'all need somebody to step in, I could,
You sashay in.
I sashay like these pink satin sheets. I want some of them too. Now, y'all, I want a theme song with a person walking behind me, and I want a silk satin cape to walk around.
Right. And I like Ray's comment. He says it will force you to expand your thinking.
It will.
It definitely will.
That's always a great thing because people always bring things to your perspective that you never thought of before. So
yeah, yeah, you'll see different things from different angles. And what it does is it causes you to not be so critical in some areas, and critical in the ones that need your criticism. So it will develop your critical thinking to people, and like I mentioned, patience. It'll develop all of that. You'll find yourself, and you're going to see your change. That's what I'm excited to see. You're going to see it.
That's this is the year to change. So we're going to work now. We're going to grow up and get patient, because that's one thing I bad about is impatience. I'm like, I ain't got time. I'll just leave. Like, okay, bye. And my kids all the time like, but I was telling you something that you was taking too long.
You will get patience. You will find one of those folks that used to get on my nerves, those trollers, Yvonne.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I had no patience for it, and I would cuss folks out, and I'd be going off.
That doesn't bother me because my mother always was like I said, I got a large family. I know how to ignore people so well. People be talking to me, I ain't hear a damn thing they said. The guy at work was saying something. He said, well, I ain't hear nothing you said. I don't want to listen to you. He said, how can you stand there? I said, I got 7 kids. You could have said some more shit. I wouldn't have heard that either. I ain't listening to you.
Yeah, but we're very pleased to have you on board, and like I said, we all are looking forward to you being here, showing what you're gonna do. developing your following, and don't be afraid to invite everybody on your friend list.
Exactly.
Because I do, and I know people hate me. So I do it just to get under their skin. Because that's who I am, you know.
Well,
So
I got a lot of interesting friends, so to bring people.
it'll be fun.
And,
It'll be fun. So who better to follow you than people that you already know?
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
And then gain new followers. So with that being said, I'm gonna give Cee Cee the last word, and then we're gonna get out of here.
What can I say? I never would have imagined in a million years that I would be here, and I just want to thank you guys for having me aboard, and thank the viewers for watching me, because I always, like my mother always told me, don't nobody care what you gotta say. So now, I'm gonna build up my follower, and I'm gonna invite her and say, see, people care what I got to say, damn it. You're wrong.
Well, good for you, Miss Cee Cee. Miss Yvonne, you got anything you want to say before we cut out?
Yeah, to Devon. Devon, I have to tell you again, I really love this intro. It is dynamite.
Oh, it's out of this world. I mean, I watched it when Tony sent it to me. I swear I watched it about 7 times before I even replied to you. And I was like, wait a minute. So, thank you so much. And, and I was in here, and my daughter was sitting in the living room with me, and she watched it, and she was like, wow. And I was like, man, she's like, do you like that? I was like, I love it. It's like one of the best things I've ever seen. So, thank you.
That's a good thing. That's a good
more than I
thing.
could have ever expected.
Yeah, Devon knows his stuff.
Yes,
he does know his stuff. I can't wait for you guys to see Hot Topics new intro.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that too.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have silk sheets too?
Okay. Why not? Silk sheets for everybody.
Silk sheets for you. Silk sheets for you.
I know. I was thinking the same thing.
You get a sheet, and you get a sheet, and you get a sheet. Yeah, why not?
So again, thanks everybody. Thank you for coming in to welcome Miss Cee Cee to the Hot Topics Talk Radio Network. This is her show premiere, where she was just giving us a little bit about who she is, what she plans on bringing to the table, and to you every month. So I'm really hoping that you joined and you enjoyed it. I'm hoping that you'll come on back here next week for Hot Topics. But join Miss Cee Cee and show her some love by following her on Facebook. You can find her under Cutting It Close with Cee Cee. All you gotta do is type that in. It comes right up. Look for the pink logo. And that's a face, by the way, if you can't see it in there.
I saw it with the little hair over it, had the little swoop going on. Listen, he hooked me up.
That deserved silk sheets.
It did. You are absolutely right. Anything other than silk sheets would not have cut it with that intro. It wouldn't have been right. I would have to under protest, like, no, y'all got to give me something smoother than that in here with that intro.
So again, I do want to say thank you. Make sure that you follow Cee Cee on Facebook. I think that you would be doing yourself a disservice if you do not follow her and tune into these shows. Make sure that you share this information with your family and friends so that they can get on board with coming in and joining Miss Cee Cee every last Wednesday of the month. It is going to be a blast, and we are looking forward to it. Yes. I want you to also come on back tomorrow night for Truf Brothers TV with Ray Gage and Devon Patrick. They're gonna light up the waves again for you. Got another hot show for you tomorrow night. Save Me Harder. I was like, what the hell?
I'm already ready to comment, and the show ain't even started yet. I'm ready to comment already.
So I'm hoping that you'll join us tomorrow night on Truf Brothers TV. My name is Tony Breedlove. The beautiful lady up there in your left-hand corner is Miss Yvonne Baker, and that wonderful lady down there in the center of it all, Miss Cee Cee Petty Son. She's going to be coming back to you next month third Wednesday of the month. Okay, so check her out, you guys.
But you
We
won't miss
love
me
you.
because I'll be in the comments of all the other shows acting the damn fool. And I can't wait to get in them comments tomorrow.
Oh my God. So we love you, everybody. Make sure that you follow Miss Cee Cee. Okay, Cutting It Close with Cee Cee. Thank you, Miss Leslie. Hope to be here on Wednesday evenings. Yes, yes.
Yep.
All righty.
Oh, tutors,
So
that's so important.
exactly.
It is.
So thank you, everybody. Cee Cee, you ready for your outro, darling?
I'm ready. Come on.
All right. So here's the new outro for Miss Cee Cee, Cutting It Close with Cee Cee. Good night, everybody.